So hi everyone, this is Just Given Achievement Squad coming at you with a 100% achievement trophy walkthrough for Palindrome Syndrome Escape Room. This game launches onto consoles on the 29th of March for a price of £7.99, which is roughly around the $8.50 mark for our friends over in the US. It is not a very long completion, and there's a grand total of 10 achievements and trophies that need to be obtained along the way. The primary base of the game is through puzzle solving. The puzzles are a little bit tricky here and there, but they're not overly complex, but I'll show you the answers and also the solutions to all of the actual problems that you'll face along the way. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. So the game follows the concept of escape rooms. You're going to go into several rooms along the way, effectively, which you need to solve all the puzzles in, and then move on to the next one. So we're going to start this off in the cryogen area.
Oh, my head. Where am I? I don't remember anything.
And we're going to make our way over to the toolbox that is in front of us. We need to examine the padlock on the side. And on the left, you're going to see the mathematical equation where you need to work out the differences between that and the numbers on the right. So the actual answer to this puzzle is first ring thing at the top. We need to put in the number 1. Then it's 2, 4, and 0. This game plays very much like a PC game, so you'll have a little mouse pointer on your screen that you need to hover over the things that you need to interact with. Once you've done that, that is going to open up the box in front of you. And you want to grab the contents of the box. So the contents of this box is a solution to the next puzzle, which is a set of levers on the wall behind you. So you'll want to turn around and take a look at this. Now to go back into your inventory and inspect anything you've previously collected up, you want to press Y or triangle, click on the inventory in the top corner, and you can actually then review any of the previous stuff that you've picked up. And in this case, we need to adjust the levers according to the picture. The bottom row is left ambiguous, so you'll want to press A or X on this part here. Start off by flipping the top switch down 1, the 2 switches below down, then the next 3 switches below down, and then you want to flip all of the bottom row switches down also. Once you've done that, you want to grab the screw from the newly opened up compartment. Now the next puzzle is a math based one, and it's on the wall behind you. Once you interact with it, the screw is automatically going to leave your inventory, and we need to solve a bit of kind of algebra-esque math equation. So the red pins are equivalent to 2 and the blue pins are equivalent to 1. So if you look at the number on the bottom left hand column, you can see that we've got 3 red pins above it, so that's a grand total of 6. So that means we need to add 1 blue pin in to total 7 for the entire column. So head to the top, grab a pin and put it into the top of the most left hand column, and that is going to get you the grand total of 7. And we need to repeat this all the way across. So we then also need to do this for 5. So we want to grab a blue pin, put it into that column, and then another blue pin and place it into that column also. Moving along to the next empty column, which is column number 4, we want to grab the remaining blue pin and put it in at the top. And then for the remaining columns, we just need to fill it up with red pins all together. Once that is done, you will want to grab the gear from the compartment on your left hand side. Then on your left you are going to see the next part of the puzzle, which is a simple cog based orientated thing. You want to click on the puzzle sign just down at the bottom. If you ever make a mistake, you can click the little circle at the top, by the way, to rectify everything. And this is a classic puzzle where we need to put the cogs in the right places for all to work. So to do this one, just copy what I do on the screen. It is a case of just drag and drop the items into the right location. We want to start off by grabbing 3 of the yellow wheels and running them along the bottom and putting them onto the green pins. Once that's done, you want to grab the green wheel and place it on the red pin. You'll then need to grab one of the smaller cogs and place it right next to the green wheel. Grab the larger yellow wheel and place that next to the small one that we just placed on the grid, and then grab the final small one and put it between the 2 yellow cogs. This is going to complete your first room and bag yourself the achievement for doing so.
Go ahead. There's still a while until we meet.
So make your way out the newly opened door, and you're going to find yourself in the central corridor, which is the kind of the hub spoke for all of the different escape rooms. There is only one door that is open at this time, and that is going to take you into this kind of like infirmary area. So we're going to kick this off by going over to the window that is got some red wording written on it. And we're going to peer through that window. We're going to look at the vials on the back wall, and this is the answer to the kidney samples cabinet. The code is 2311. It's based on the number of vials on the back wall. To the right, you want to make your way over to the kidney sample door, and then you'll want to enter 2311. You'll want to grab the little test tube that is inside once it is opened up. And now that we have got our vial, we want to grab a few more things in this room that's going to help out with the next puzzle. So just to the right of this little microwave cabinet, there is a clue which is linked to the next puzzle that we're about to solve. It tells us about how to solve the kidney problem. Take a right and make your way over, and on the next table you're going to find a vial that is just here. Grab that vial, and then you want to take a look to your left, and you're going to see the next test tube problem. The answer to the problem is on the tablet just here. It's talking about how things react faster to certain situations, and we need to organize the vial samples in the correct order of performance. Okay, so looking at the vials that we've kind of got on the side and looking at the poster that is up on the wall, we have the color coding now that tells us how to go about moving forward. So we want to take the vials that we've got, we're going to organize them in the second rack that is just in front, and we have to place them in the right order of what goes quicker. So you want to take the purple one first of all. Don't try and do what I did. You want to grab the purple one and you want to put it into the first hole on the second rack. You want to then grab the yellow and place it next to the purple. You'll then want to grab the brown, I think, and put that next to the yellow. Next up, we are going for blue, and then lastly we're going to place in green. Now that the test vials have lifted up the bed somehow, you can walk over underneath it and you're going to find your next clue, which is linked to the ID, and you'll see that there's a bunch of letters which actually translates to Reynolds. So turn around, and just behind you, you are going to find the ID card that is on the desk, and that is John Reynolds' ID card. So access level 4, medical investigator. And then you're going to want to make your way to the right, and as you come over here, we're going to want to engage with the buttons on the wall. From here, press the blue button, the green button, the orange button, and the red button, and that is going to open up the door on your right hand side. So now you want to make yourself over into the newly opened up corridor, and we're going to solve the number puzzle on the wall. This is actually linked to the ID notification that you found on the wall. If you look at the inventory, you will see your name spelt this way, and you need to order it in the correct order of your spelling. So for example, R is the first letter, which corresponds to 4 on the system just over here. So you're going to need to enter 4, 8, 5, 1, 7, 6, 3, 2.
Finally.
And that's going to open up the door on the right hand side.
Huh, John?
Okay, so the next puzzle is going to be linked to a bit of a perspective orientated thing and some buttons on the wall. So make your way into this new section, and you want to look at the window, and we're going to line up on the outside the symbols here to what is on the floor. As you can see, the symbols correspond to a particular number, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need to push the symbol buttons that are on the back wall in the order that the number 1, 2, 3, 4 is displayed. They are just across the other side. So make your way out of this little bit to the back wall. Right, and we're going to start off by pushing the button that looks like a funky little T. Followed by the C, followed by the H, followed by the 3 lines. So the solution to the next puzzle is actually on the wall to your right. So you want to make your way around, and you'll see these lockers here. And these are the reflective of the switches on the wall. So on the right hand side, locker number 1, the red mark is on the right hand side and the others are on the left hand side. What we need to do here is we need to flip switch number 1 and 2 so that they point to the right. And then going across the bottom, we want to flip the switches number 5 and 6 so that they also point to the right. This is going to open up one of the lockers. You'll want to make your way over and grab the information on the little diary here, as this is key to the next puzzle. So in here we need to pay attention to the chemicals and the description taking place at the bottom with the phase 2 stating that it is a reverse sequence of the reactions and everything else listed above. And that correlates to the buttons that are in the room's back panel that we just open up. So once you're done studying this and taking notes, you want to make your way into the back room. Take a right and look at the wall on the left. And we need to press the buttons in reverse order as what they are described in the document. For me, this is actually quite straightforward. It is a right to left response to the puzzle. So I can go 4, 3, 2, 1, and I will answer that there. It could be different for you. I'm not entirely sure. So just check what is written in the document. Upon doing that, you'll have actually completed the infirmary section, and we're going to move over onto the break room. So to get to the break room, enter out the door that you came in. There's only one way out of the room. When you come out, you want to take a left, and we're going to go down the corridor. And there is another room on the end that is now freshly opened up, which is the break room, which has got a bar in it. And it's my favorite room in the game, the break room. So we're going to start serving some puzzles up in here. So we're going to kickstart this puzzle off by going over to the bar, as you do, where you contemplate most of life's puzzles. Make your way over to the little buttons that you've just got on the front here. So we need to click the buttons in the appropriate order following what it is seen on the shelf to get that kind of passcode here and entered. So as you can see, the button pictures correlate to what is on the shelf. So we're going to start off by clicking the middle button, the first button, the fourth button, the second button, and then the last button. That's going to pop open a fridge cabinet nearby. However, we're going to continue to solve our problems at the bar. So there's another puzzle just a little bit further down from here. So look to your right and you're going to see the same puzzle again. And believe it or not, it's actually the same answer as the first puzzle. I've tried this a couple of times now. It didn't seem to change in any way whatsoever. So we want to start off by clicking the middle button, so the third one in, which looks like a bottle of Kahlua. We then want to click the first button, the fourth button, the second button, and then the fifth button. This is also going to open up another fridge in there. So the next puzzle is going to be linked to counting food. So you want to make your way over to this cabinet just here, and you're going to see the picture of milk, pizza, apple, and banana. And the goal is to actually count the number of pizzas, apples, bottles of milk, and bananas in the room. They are dotted pretty much everywhere. However, the number does not actually change. It is pretty much a repeating thing. So we're going to go over and we're going to type that in all together. So I've already done you the favor. There are 9 bottles of milk. There are 2 pieces of pizza. We have 6 apples. And we have 3 bananas. That's going to pop open the door that is just below you. You're going to want to give that little diary in there a quick read. And it's going to give you the solution to one of the other puzzles in the room, which is the chess puzzle. From here, make your way down and you're going to grab the little diary out of the smaller fridge, because that's where we keep our diary. Now bear that in mind, this is going to be a solution to another puzzle. And then you want to grab the piece of a puzzle out of the larger fridge. Okay, then from the larger fridge, we're going to make our way across to the sofa, which is on the other side of the room. And you're going to find a book there, which we're going to need for a puzzle later on. Not going to need it immediately. And then we're going to make our way over to one of the middle dining tables. That middle dining table is going to have our next puzzle on it, which is a chess orientated job. And we need to follow the solution that we had found in one of the cabinets. So the solution to this puzzle is nice and easy. We want to place the bishop next to the bishop that's already on the board. Then we want to place the king and queen 2 squares down from the opposing piece. Once you've done that correctly, that will open up the next way forward. Once that puzzle is over, we are going to make our way over to the freshly opened up panel. Now we need to grab the solution to the puzzle before we implement the next puzzle piece. So as you can see, there's a big glaring red circle around the window. You want to peek up and you can see that it says Margaret on the back wall. We need to make sure all of the tile pieces in the sliding puzzle show the word Margaret on the panel. So to do that, click on the puzzle over. That's going to automatically insert your puzzle piece that you're looking for. And then we're going to click a sequence of things to make things happen. So going from the top left down to the bottom, I'm going to number the tiles 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to push tile 6, tile 5, tile 2, tile 1, tile 4, tile 7, tile 8, tile 9, and that is going to display the name Margaret.
You have forgotten about her. You promised you would take care of her.
Margaret, where are
So
you?
the next up is about sorting out some things on a bookshelf. So you want to make your way into the bedroom that is on the newly opened up left hand door, and we're going to place the book on the shelf that we had before, and we're going to organize the books in the appropriate way. So make your way forward to the puzzle. The clue is on the back wall, and you can see here, for example, what it's indicating is that from the blue book, on its left hand side there should be 6 books, and then on the right hand side there should be 10 books. For the brown book, there should be 12 on its left, 4 on its right, and so on and so on. So to keep moving forward, we want to take the green book and we want to place it into hole number 3. This is a little bit fiddly, this bit, but it should be okay. Grab the brown book and put it into slot number 4. As you can see, it will teleport back down to the bottom if you're not in the right position. Grab the blue book and the red book. The blue book goes into the second hole and the red book goes into the first hole. This is going to open up a little crate to your right hand side that you're going to want to grab the card out of. Now from there you want to go to the right of the bed and there's going to be a kind of like a calendar thing on the wall. Now the clue to this is when the incident took place that is actually echoed in one of your diaries. So it's automatically going to put the bit into place, but we need to create up the date on the wall, which is the 10th of December 2022 58. 2258. So grab the 1, grab the 0 and drag it into the big slots at the top. Find the December and bring that over underneath the 1, and then find the year 2258 and place that under the 0. That is going to complete the break room puzzle. Okay, so to get to the break room is pretty much straight, sorry, the office, not the break room, is pretty much straight over from the bedroom in the break room. So make your way over to the other side. You want to go through, and the first clue that we're going to go for is at the computer that is on the right hand side. So make your way over and inspect it, and we need to pay attention to the numbers that they mention in the travel order. Remember these numbers, 5, 3, 4 and 2. The solution is always the same. Make your way over to the right wall and we're going to look at what's just up here. Now this is kind of a classic Sudoku math orientated problem. So for example, to get to 7 in the bottom left hand corner, the certain numbers on the wall would have to equate to a certain thing. Everything needs to add up to everything that it is correlated to. So 14 on the right, the top row must add up to 14. And we need to use process of elimination to get to the answer to the problem. Now it's always the same answer, so it's always a case of you've got to click the button on the right hand wall, so the circle with the cross, the male symbol, the number that looks like 24 merged together, and then the kind of candlestick number in the bottom right hand corner. That's going to open the shelving set to your right hand side. So from that travel order set of buttons, look to your right and you're going to see a password printed on the wall. That sequence of numbers correlates to the drawers that have just opened up underneath it. So we need to identify what do these mean. So look at the numbers on the wall, counting from left to right. We can say, okay, up to number 7, we have the letter M. We have then the other letters like M, R, G, T, and 2033 is the actual password. And we're going to need to use that on a computer over in the corner. So from here, you want to take a right, make your way down to the very end of this corridor. You'll see a computer in front of you. You want to grab the diary, which contains more information that you need, but we're going to need to enter the password into the computer. So to do that, we need to just click on the screen and we're going to enter MRGT 2033. So that's MRGT 2033. So this is going to have now printed off another clue to another problem in a different room. So make your way over and you want to grab the printout from the printer. So the next puzzle is directly behind you, and it is a puzzle where we need to identify some overlaps. So the clue is in the Venn diagram, and we're going from left to right, so A, B, C, D. And the picture is we've got to identify the picture that correlates between the two images on each wall. So A is an example here. You've got two different pictures of bacteria and two different types of viruses. And then the picture on the wall behind you is also A, and you will see just over there that you've got just one matching picture of the bacteria. The solution to this puzzle is always the same, so just copy what I do when I enter the passcode. So we want to click first of all on the second button. We then want to make our way over to the fifth button, then onto the sixth button, and then onto the fourth button. That is going to pop open one of the cabinets nearby, and we're going to shift over to the next puzzle. And then from here we are going to turn about, and we're going to go over and start playing around with the spinning wheel. So to do that, we need to make our way back around to the left, and then you're going to see this big wheel on the wall. The tissue samples here is kind of what we're going to line up. What is the priority over the other priority? So you can see the heart is more important than the lungs, the stomach is more important than the brain is more important than the intestines, and the liver is more important than the kidneys. So that we need to make sure that all of our little dots line up correctly on that front and that they don't conflict with each other. So to do this, we want to start off at the top by putting the heart at the top. On the second ring, we want to put the lungs at the top also. So as you can see here, heart is more important than lungs. Next up, we need to put the kidneys at the very top also. So that is the third ring in. Spin that around until the kidneys go to the top. And then for the fourth ring, we're going to rotate that until the stomach is at the top. And then for the final ring, you want to just keep rotating it until it completes the puzzle. Next up, we are going to go loot the freshly opened containers, and we're going to grab the contents of them. So make your way around, and you're going to see that these are two open. There's going to be two levers that we need to grab in each one. They're both next to each other. Once you've done that, we want to make our way back over to the door. And when you're at that door, we're going to place these switches in on the wall. And we've got to get all lights to green. And the solution to this problem is we want to start off by clicking on the second switch from the top. We want to press that until the light turns green. So we want to press it twice. And then we want to press the fourth switch once, twice, and then fifth switch once. That is going to open up the door that is next to you. So enter that room, and we're going to now correlate the numbers that are on the wall with the bit of paper that we're going to have in from our printer. And we need to correlate the X plus symbols on the side here to the numbers that are on the wall. So when you look at the left hand side, to the middle, to the right, so the top row was a case of we need to take the numbers 0, 1, 1, 2 and 3, and we need to total those together, which would give us the part of the combination for the safe. For the next one, we need to total together 4, 0, 1, 2 and 2. And that's the second number for the safe code. And then for the last one, we need to total together 3, 2, 0, 3 and 0. So you want to make your way over to the chest that is just on your right hand side, which is actually going to give us a total of 7, 9 and 8. Once you've put that in, that is going to pop it open. We are now done in this room. You'll also need to grab the information from the diary that is in the box before you leave. So we are now going to go on to the penultimate room, so the room before the last one, which is the tech lab. So to get there, exit out of this room, make your way forward. We're going to go across the break room and going to go straight forward ahead of us, and it is directly ahead. So We're now going to do with a sequence of flashing lights. So for this first puzzle, you'll need to pay attention to the lights on the wall and what order they flash in and how many times they flash. In this case, the order is blue, yellow, red, red, blue. So press those buttons on the wall to enter it in. So again, blue, yellow, red, red, blue. So once you've done that, you want to grab the contents of the box and you want to grab the little wheel that is in there out. Move over to the right and we're going to go on to the next puzzle, which is a case of remembering how many times a particular light bulb will flash. In this case, the red light bulb flashes 4 times, the blue one flashes 5 times, and the yellow one flashes twice. So the code on the wall that you need to enter is 452. Repeat that again, so it's 452. Okay, so grab the part from the newly opened crate, and then we're going to go to the right and we're going to do a little bit more stuff on this one. More flashy lights, more orientated kind of puzzles. So grab that, make your way over to the right, and you're going to see on the little wall, more flashing lights, but the red light corresponds to moving right, the blue light corresponds to moving down, yellow corresponds to being in the right place, and that corresponds to the grid that is underneath. The lights next to you will play on a looping order. There is a small pause before the loop refreshes, but you need to follow the directions, and where there is a yellow light that goes off, that is where you need to place the white tile on the board. It is always the same location, so it's not overly complex, and I've got the same answer as I've always had every single time. So just feel the need to explain it to you, otherwise so people don't get lost. So grab our first white square and we want to go 3 across and 1 down. We then want to grab our second square and we want to place it in the bottom right hand corner, and then we want to place another square above the last square we just placed. It won't go onto the grid, but the box on the right will still open. Go grab the pipe that is inside. So from here you want to turn around. We're going to go after our next puzzle. So spin about, and the pipes are just on the wall. When you interact with it, your pipe that you have will automatically go in. We want to start off on the second row and we want to click the pipe that is not connected to anything, the corner pipe that is going to rotate everything around, and then click the pipe in the top right hand corner to complete this puzzle. If you make a mistake, click on the little circle icon at the top and that will revert everything back to the way it should. But keep clicking everything and it will eventually solve itself and open up a little hatch nearby. We'll come to that a little bit later. So now we have another classic cog related puzzle. These are always a common theme in most games in some way or another, particularly Resident Evil. But we want to start this off with grabbing the cogs at the top, and we're going to place them on their respective pin sizes. So as you'll see, some of the holes are bigger and some of the holes are smaller. We just need to make sure that we put them in the right spot. Starting off with the one at the top, we want to bring it down and place it next to the main cog, and then another one will need to just go underneath that. You actually want to go for the cog that is slightly bigger and don't follow what I'm doing here. So grab the cog from the second row with the slightly bigger hole. Grab the cog with the biggest hole and put it right at the very bottom. Grab the next cog with the small hole and place it next to the big cog. The last remaining small one and then the last remaining big one need to go next to the other wheel on the left hand side. That is going to complete this part of the puzzle. Now we have another classic puzzle that we've already had to deal with earlier, but it's a slightly bigger version of it. Make your way around and we're going to find this panel on the wall. We're going to want to place our levers in. It's going to automatically do that for you. And there is a simple solution to this. We're going to turn all lights on. So we want to start off by pressing the top left, the first cog, so lever 4 times. Then do for the same for the second one. Press that also 4 times. And then also for the 8th lever, we want to press that also 4 times, and that is going to set all switches to green. Okay, so this next puzzle is linked to some of the canisters that are on the floor directly behind us. We're not going to be able to use them just yet, but make your way over to the newly opened panels, and this is the solution to the problem. So these pictures represent the canisters and the order they can be organized inside a crate. Certain canisters cannot go next to each other, whereas others can. So this is the solution to the problem. We need to organize all of the canisters in their little areas. So make your way across to the first set of canisters, which is opposite the pipe puzzle. You'll want to interact with that, and we're going to need to organize these into their respective locations. So grab an orange one and place it next to the tall black canister in the top palette. Grab the yellow one and place it next to the orange, and then grab another orange and place it next to the black one. Okay, so next up we want to grab the orange canister and we're going to place it next to the silver one. You'll now want to grab the black one and place it next to the orange one opposite the silver, and then the final orange one goes into the obvious place. Make your way to the other side for the next wave of this puzzle. So we're going to do some more organizing. It's great fun. So we've already got a couple of cases where the canisters are already in. Start off by grabbing an orange one and placing it next to the black canister. And now we want to grab the next orange canister and place it next to the yellow one. Grab the other orange canister and place it beneath the other yellow one. Grab the black canister and place it next to the next 2 oranges. They've already been placed. And then grab the silver canister and put it next to the other oranges on the other palette. This is going to complete this puzzle and set you up for the solution to the next one. Okay, then from here we're going to look at the colored canisters. Directly in front of each one there is going to be a number, so blue and orange have 3 and 2, and then you'll see that green and purple have 1 and 4. So we need to press in the order of the numbers the color of the buttons on the wall. So make your way to the back, and as you come through here we're going to push some buttons. So we want to start off by pressing green, brown, blue, and then purple. That is going to open up the wall to the left hand side, and you want to grab the medicine from that container. So no real puzzle now from this point, so we want to make our way to the back of the lab area, take a left to where we came in, and we're going to place the medicine in this little system here, and then we're going to grab the diary off the side at the same time because it gives you a little bit more of an insight. So drop the medicine into the system, and you should pop your achievement for completing the tech lab at the same time. Once you're done with that, we want to back out and we're going to make our way to the break room again. I get a little bit lost here, so I do apologize. But make your way forward to the little intersection. You need to identify the door that actually opened, and it is the one that I look at on the left hand side but I don't go into. So it's on the left as you come out of the break room. This is the newly opened up section. Okay, so next up, make your way into the room, and on the right hand side you're going to see a wall for vials and dosages. It's another alphanumeric kind of situation, so you'll see the letters will correspond to the number of vials that are already in place. The clue that is already given is the blue vial is already up and the dosage grid matches that color, so in this case the blue one is B. So we have to identify the number of colors that we have to the number of letters and put them in the right places. In this case pink is C, so we want to go about putting the C in the top left hand corner. The next one that we're going to identify is yellow is A, so that would go below the C or to the right of the C on the top row. and the green is correlating to the letter D, which is in the bottom right hand corner. What you need to do is effectively match that pattern to the dosage picture on the wall. So purple is C, yellow is A, blue is B, and D is green. Insert all of the vials into the wall. It's going to take a little while, but we'll speak to you in a moment. Okay, so once you have all of your vials in place, it's going to open up a little drawer nearby. We're going to grab the X-ray that is in that drawer, and we're going to go and put it on the wall. That drawer is directly behind you. It's a little bit fiddly for some reason when it comes to picking it up, so keep wiggling around and you'll get the right angle eventually. Now the next puzzle is probably the most complicated puzzle in the game. It's linked to the eye chart that is on the wall, and it's kind of a letter orientated puzzle. The way to look at this is that the letters on the wall and the plus symbols are next to it is effectively indicating where you see a plus symbol, you skip to the next, you skip a letter. So for example, if it's A and there are two plus symbols next to it, you would skip B and C. So the goal here is for you to solve what is down on the bottom. So following it from top to bottom, you've got A plus, which means you skip B, it puts you onto C. You skip 3, that puts you back to G. You skip 1, that puts you onto I. So in this case, so our answer is G, K, O, S, W. Type that in on the little billboard just here, and that is going to print a little receipt out of the corner. So G, K, O, S, W. Grab the little card and look to the right for your next puzzle. Okay, so the next puzzle is going to require us to count some bones. It's always the same number of bones, so I wouldn't worry about it. So the clue to this is that the histology poster, you can see the letters correlate to the different bones in our body. So elbow, neck, knee, hands, spine, foot. And then you want to look at the little table just here. You'll see the numbers that reflect the bones, and we need to put them in the right place. So in this case, the elbow has 3 bones. We want to place A onto the letter 3. We then want to go about grabbing the neck bone, B. And we're going to want to drop that on the top left number. Grabbing C, and we want to put that on number 4. D is our hand, has the most bones by far, so we need to place that on 27. And then we want to place the back on to E. I'm pretty sure it has more components than 5, but nonetheless, and then grab F, and you want to place that onto 26. That's going to open the little grate at the top to give you a little switch, which you'll need for later. Next up, we are going to solve our X-ray puzzle, which is on the wall just here. So when you interact with it, your X-ray is going to go up automatically. It's another classic case of a sliding tile puzzle. So we want to click off. We're clicking the second tile on the top row, and that's going to move it to the left hand side. We've got to establish the red line all the way across from one to the other. So start off by clicking the second tile, and that will move it to the left. Click the third tile to move it to the left also. Click the tile in the bottom right hand corner to move it up. Click the right tile, so the tile to the left of the last one, and it will move it to the right. Click the pelvis x-ray, click the skull x-ray, and click the shoulder x-ray, and that will complete the puzzle for you. Now you need to pay attention to the letters that are on this graph, as that corresponds to the switch on the wall for the next puzzle. So that puzzle is on your right, so we need to remember that P and T are relatively low upwards, and the Q and the R are kind of further down. So we want to start this off by flipping the switches on the wall. The P switch needs to be one down from the very top. The Q switch needs to remain at the very bottom. The R switch, we want to bring that all the way to the very top. The S switch will need to remain in its place. And the T switch, we need to bring it one from the top. That is going to pop the little trunk below at the bottom. Okay, so from this point onwards, we want to turn around, and we're going to make our way over to the scanning machine just here. Pay attention to the colored shelves in the corner and the numbers. So the indication, so the first shelf, we need to put purple on the top. The second shelf, we need to blue where it's in its place. The third one, we need orange on top. And then the last one, we need green on top. That is the solution to this problem, and it's going to print a little ticket out behind the machine in the corner. So you want to grab that card which is behind the machine. As you can see, I get a little bit lost trying to find it. I heard it print out, but I didn't see where it was, but it's just on the back wall. So pick that one up. And then from here, we are going to get the answer to one of our next puzzles. We don't need that just yet. But from here, we want to take a left, and we're going to just make our way down to the end of the corridor. Take a right, and then on the left immediately, you're going to see this little wall here. Put the switches in. And this is actually a little bit easier. Still same case of making sure everything's turned on, but this time just make sure the top switch is flipped all the way to the right, and then the right hand top switch is also flipped all the way to the right. This will solve the puzzle for you. Once you've done that, make your way into the room. Now that you've done that, we want to make our way into the room and to solve our next problem. The clues to that came off of the machine in the corner where it printed it. So we want to look at the console just here, and we're going to pay attention to these symbols along the bottom line as they correlate to the pictures on the card to translate to give us the password to the medicine. It's a lot more obvious than you think once it starts to click. So as we can see, we needed the symbol that was going to be contained in a square with the left hand side missing and a dot there, so that would start to M. And then we had just the square with two sides missing, which links to A. And if you can't figure out already, the password is actually Margaret. It is the same case every single time again. And you want to look to your left and type Margaret's name into the safe to pick it up and get the medicine out. Once you've done that, you want to make your way back to the X-ray machine. So start to make your way out the door. Take a right again, left, and then you want to place the medicine vial just in here. And that is going to pretty much set you on your way for now. You'll pop yourself an achievement, you'll learn the truth, and we've still got one more puzzle to solve.
You killed her. It's your fault. You were incapable to do what you promised. You said you would take care of her.
It's true. It's all my fault. Margaret died because of me.
Okay, so from here, everything's going to have turned red, and it's all representative of what's going on. Make your way back to the front door, and this is where you're going to need to enter your final passcode. If you're like me and you can't figure this out, I think the password is John, but I type it in incorrectly in the beginning because I am a mad lad like that. Yeah, but type in John. That is the final puzzle of the game. That is going to pop open the door on the right hand side.
Discover that you killed her over and over again. As long as you live, you will feel the pain of remembering that you killed her.
You know what you have to do. Go back to sleep. This ends where it started.
Once you've exited out, you want to find your way back to the cryo room. This is also your last achievement in the game. The cryo room is also the only one that's open. And we want to do everything that we ever do when anything ever goes wrong, typically, and in this scenario, is go back to bed. So, go back to bed. That is the end of the game. I have been Drastic from the Achievement Squad. If you find this guide useful, drop us a like, comment, subscribe, and happy hunting.